Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, who would you send an elephant pooping video to?
Also, is it possible to win the NFL MVP and still feel like a failure?
All that and more on the way next.
Well, Hudson, I have been very intrigued, to say the least, about a new reality game show or competition show that's coming out. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's called Extracted.
I've seen the ads for this.
Okay.
I don't know. So it's not out yet?
I'm not sure. It looked like it might be premiering quite soon. So it might have premiered last night. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, does Fox have the Super Bowl? But the Super Bowl's on Fox, right?
Yes.
So maybe after, this could be the thing that they always have a big, something that comes after the Super Bowl. This could be it.
Even though none of us want to stay up and watch anything after that.
Yeah.
At least I won't be doing that.
No, me neither.
But yeah, that's likely what this will be because they're promoting it quite heavily right now.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing ads for it. But basically what I'm describing it to people as is it looks like a version of Survivor, except you're on your own. You're not on a team. Mm-hmm. But your family is watching you the whole time, and they have the ability, which is where they get the name from, to extract you from the competition if they think that it's becoming too much for you.
Yeah. So wait, the prize is
$250,000 if you're the last person.
Pretty good. So it's kind of like Survivor, Naked and Afraid.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
One of those survival shows. Yeah.
Me and Mrs. Hudson have seen, of course, they've been promoting this heavily for much of the football season. And then we've been watching Kitchen Nightmares too on Hulu. And I'm sure there's ads on there. So we've seen the ads for this. And every time we say the same thing. And this is another reality show, which I feel like many of them, that would just make me mad. You know how people get mad at horror movies because they're like, why would you go in the room with the Geico had the chainsaws? Yeah. Why would you go in there? We would watch this and we get mad because we said to each other, I'm not taking you out of there. If we were on this show, there's zero chance. You signed up for that. You're stuck there now, and we're getting $250,000. I don't care how maimed you get. I don't care what animal eats you. Apparently, we love each other more than, or we love money more than each other, is what it seems like.
Well, and that's what I think is an interesting, wrinkle with this show is it does kind of put that to the test. Mm-hmm. Your love for your family, you don't want to see them suffering. Yeah. And you have to watch it. They are a part of the competition too. So they're literally locked down in what they describe as HQ. Uh-huh. And all they get to do all day is just watch their family member absolutely suffer from hunger, from exposure, whatever. And they have to make a tough decision because there's this ominous button that sits right in front of the big screens that says extract. And it's are they going to press it? Are they going to not? So I don't know. I think it's a interesting concept to add that extra wrinkle of your family. Of course they love you and of course they want to protect you. Will they extract you or will they be no, you can do this?
Yeah. They would be watching, feeling so helpless, seeing you suffer and whatever. Right. And if it was me on the show, I would be horrible at it. I wouldn't. I have no chance of surviving in the Canadian wilderness. But that's what I signed up for. And so, too, it's one thing if you or I were sitting here and we saw, we agreed, and it's all right, if you can you spend a week there, somehow figure it out. And, they got people watching you, whatever, you'll probably be safe, right? They're not going to kill you. Then that's one thing. But that the people that are watching that have to press the button are sitting in a room with producers that are egging them on, being oh, I don't know if he's going to, whatever. They're going to play the mind games with the people that are off camera are going to play mind games with these people, really trying to make it a struggle for them.
Or the other family members. Because you would think
all the drama.
They want the money.
Yeah.
So they're going to be oh, man, this is really, really bad. Are you going to hit that button?
But you'd have to play it if, all the family members are together. You'd have to play it real cool, though, because that would be motivation. You know? If you're starting look at your husband. He sucks. He's not going to make it. Look at that. He thinks he can use leaves to do that? What a loser. And then you're going to be oh, yeah, he'll show you. And so all of a sudden, you would have to reverse psychology it.
Yes.
So that is, you know what? I think it would make me mad to watch, but I am kind of intrigued. I'm a little intrigued.
I'm intrigued. Survivor is one of my favorite shows, so I feel like I need to give this one a shot too.
Yeah, and the Canadian aspect of it, obviously, it just can't hurt. There's never been a better time to start drinking coffee, Allie. Literally, it's free this coming Monday. If you go to Starbucks, we were talking earlier this week on the show about how should Super Bowl Monday be a holiday? There's a lot of, nobody's going to actually turn down a holiday, a paid holiday, right?
Right.
But many people had creative solutions in case we didn't want to go full on. Everybody gets the day off. Some different ideas for Super Bowl Monday. Starbucks, I like their idea. They're like, it might be tough to recover after Super Bowl on a Super Bowl Monday, so we will take care of your coffee for you. It's free at Starbucks for rewards members this coming Monday.
That is a nice gesture from Starbucks to be like, hey, you need a little extra push, some caffeine to get going after a long night. So the coffee's on us today. You can get either a coffee or an iced coffee. I believe it has to be, tall, which I believe means small, right? At Starbucks. Yep.
So not all that generous of them, but you think about it, how often nowadays do any fast food restaurants at all offer you anything free that's not something that, with a purchase, buy one, get one, with $2 order, you get whatever. They don't give you free stuff anymore.
No, very rarely. And it makes sense. Why would any businesses want to give out free stuff?
I feel like there used to be a heyday for us deal searchers where you could find... it would be National Hamburger Day, and you could literally go get a free hamburger from somewhere, and I felt like that was a good business tactic because it's like, oh, this burger costs us 50 cents. We'll give it to them for free, and they're not just going to only get the hamburger unless it's me because I'm a fiend. And so people are probably thinking too, with Starbucks, are you really going to just go you're going to sit in the drive-through line for a free small coffee?
Right. That seems like... No.
While you're there, you're going to get a muffin, or you're going to open up the app and be like, well, I can get my free coffee, or for just $3, I can get something else. And then you're going to get something else. And all of a sudden you're spending money.
Yes. There's definitely a reason why they're doing it. It's bringing people to their stores. So there's a reason behind it all. But also it's a, publicity for sure. People are going to cover this Starbucks giving free coffee. So offers them some goodwill.
Do you feel discriminated against?
As a person that doesn't drink coffee?
Yes.
No.
Well, this is them saying, we see you, Allie, and we offer many things, not just coffee. There's more to Starbucks than just coffee. However, we reject your business. We will not let you have anything free unless you want to become a coffee drinker.
Yeah, I'm not going to Starbucks either way, so I don't think I care.
But if they offered something free what if they offered a cake pop? Then maybe you would go, wouldn't you? Maybe. Cake pop?
I don't actually like cake.
A muffin?
Nah.
One of their breakfast sandwiches.
A
souffle.
That might get me because, it's more savory.
Yeah. What do they call them? Like the little frittatas or whatever? The little egg things?
The spinach frittatas or whatever. Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, see, you would wait in line for that for free.
I haven't had Starbucks spinach frittata, but I would imagine if they do it correctly, it probably isn't bad.
They could have won you over and made you a Starbucks customer.
They don't care about
Gotten
me.
you to download the app, and that's exactly right.
This is for their reward members.
They could have gotten you to become a reward member.
They definitely can't get me.
And they said no. They said, we don't want you.
Exactly. I don't want them, and they don't want me.
This is Fired or Hired on RadioU Mornings. If you ever have workplace issues, let us know at 8772-RADIO-U. We'll be happy to help sort them out. We need some help on this one. And this is a tough situation. We have somebody that doesn't want to have to clean their office. But there's more to it than that. I'll let them explain. Said, hello, at my office, we recently found out that the company we work in mental health services, has decided to not hire a cleaner anymore to save money, and we will be asked to clean the office ourselves, including the bathrooms. The manager hasn't told us yet, but we are aware that this will happen in the future at some point. We're only 10 people in the office, but we have people from the outside coming in every week and every day because we offer psychological support. I don't want to be mean, But a lot of the time, our clients neglect themselves and can neglect to shower themselves for a month. Not sure anybody would really be comfortable cleaning a toilet seat after knowing that.
Ooh.
Is this acceptable? I am very adamant in saying that I do not want to do it because, one, it's not my job description, and two, I'm already paid minimum wage, and I'm already battling for the company to raise our salaries. What should I do? What can I do?
Oh, man.
A reverse fired or hired, should this person just straight up quit? Is there any course of action they can take to try to change the company's course of action? Or should they just suck it up and clean the toilets, even though it's not exactly what they signed up for? 8772 Radio U. This is high stakes here, I think.
Yeah.
This is important. We need to get this sorted out. So if you've got any good ideas, 8772 Radio U, let us know what you would do, what you think this person should do in this fired or hired situation.
Heard in from a few people. We got a response here from Mia. She says, I worked at a place that tried this. In the meeting, someone said, thanks so much for letting us know. We had no idea we were so close to bankruptcy and should all start looking for new jobs. Management flipped out and about 1/3 of the employees ended up quitting. She says, good luck getting out of there.
That's similar. Josh texted and Josh said, bro is chalked. Minimum wage and the company is making cuts. It's time to freshen up that resume.
Oh, yep. Cynthia says, I did something similar. I was on hourly pay, so I just spent so long scrubbing, saying I want everything to be spotless. They ended up not wanting me to clean anymore.
Yes. I don't know if I should be cheering for that, but I mean, that's some weaponized incompetence right there.
Absolutely. Also heard from Peter, and I feel like this is a really important comment. He says that he owned a commercial cleaning company, and cleaning bathroom facilities in businesses isn't the same as cleaning your bathroom at home.
Oh.
Numerous people use those areas each day. It requires using chemicals strong enough to kill very broad spectrum of germs without causing harm to the people using it or damaging the fixtures. It also requires specific training so the area is left as clean as possible without cross-contaminating other surfaces or areas that are frequently touched by hands. There is considerable training put into safely cleaning heavily used public spaces, and companies who try to save a few dollars by having the employees do it are being very short-sighted, in my opinion.
Yeah, almost based off of that, neglectful. That's also a very good ad for hiring a cleaning service.
Exactly. Peter's doing a good job of promoting himself.
Yeah, even though he said he used to own one, right?
He
so he's not even. I
don't think he's in that work anymore.
Trying to get his name out there, but yeah.
But clearly very knowledgeable.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons now. Look, what are your options? They're probably limited. You could literally show them, like you could write down or show them this segment to your employer and be like, you just tell them what Peter said. I don't know if that would make a difference to them at this point. It does sound like they're very cash strapped.
Yeah.
And if you're offering mental health services, it's unfortunate that it sounds like you're in like you're doing a good work for somebody.
Right.
But if they're paying you minimum, like you still have to make your living and it still has to be safe.
Right.
And it doesn't sound like it necessarily is. So I think like Josh said, start freshening up that resume. Sounds like you have a new second full-time job for now, and that is finding another job.
So leave them?
This is a leave them. I don't know. Like, what argument could you make for what is the opposite stance here?
I guess it would be like, try and see where they're coming from. Like maybe it's just a short time thing, see what reasoning they have behind it or whatever. Or maybe ask them if they're planning on offering any employee training on how to correctly clean the bathrooms, like what Peter was talking about. So maybe if you're, set on keeping this job, bring these concerns to your management and say like, hey, there's all these reasons why this is how you should clean bathrooms in a public space. Are we going to get employee training on how to do this if you're expecting us to clean these bathrooms ourselves?
Yeah. And that sounds like, do you want to do that?
No.
That's horrible.
No, but I think that is a legitimate question to bring forward to your management because they might not be thinking about that.
I think if they're willing to take this, I mean, we're making a lot of assumptions, but I think if they're willing to take this step, they're going to be like, no, and you're still going to do it.
Yeah.
And like, it really sounds like this company, unfortunately, is doing again, they're in a line of work that you would hope they would be like really trying to help people.
Right.
But they're cutting all the corners they can for at their employees' expense. So it doesn't sound like somewhere you want to be long term. Welcome to Super Bowl weekend. Lots of news going on in the NFL. Not only is the Super Bowl just a couple days away, but of course, last night was the NFL Honors, where they hand out all the awards, including MVP. And for once, MVP was not a done deal. Usually you kind of know in the NFL who the MVP is going to be long before the actual award is handed out. Last night, it was a toss-up. Was it going to be Lamar Jackson of the Ravens, Josh Allen of the Bills? And Josh Allen got the win. Allie, do you support the decision of the voters giving Josh Allen his first MVP?
I absolutely do. I think Josh Allen is a great quarterback. Here's the thing. I think he's a great quarterback, but also I'm so upset still that he didn't beat the Chiefs. So I feel like it's a great, compensation almost for him a little bit. It's like you had a great season, but still didn't end up in the Super Bowl where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
So it comes with almost like a little bit like a
grain of salt.
It's not as exciting as what it would be.
The MVP so often seems to these days. It always seems to in so many sports.
Yeah, I feel the same way about the Heisman.
It gets handed out to a guy who has a great regular season, and for some reason, more and more of the MVPs feel like they don't get it done in the playoffs, or the guys who do get it done in the playoffs are almost punished in the MVP voting because it's like, well, they're going to win the Super Bowl. They're going to do well in the playoffs. That's when they get their accolades. And then we have to compensate Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson for their playoff failures. I mean, Josh Allen's played well in the playoffs, but like where they're always going to fall short there, at least they can have this.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, a lot of people, and if you look at this, like the main stats, passing yards and touchdowns and interceptions and whatever, Lamar Jackson, the case is made that he should have won over Josh Allen. To me, I feel like it's most valuable player, not best stats player.
Exactly.
And I as much as Lamar Jackson is very important to the Ravens, we've seen in previous years when he gets injured and Tyler Huntley comes in and makes a Pro Bowl and gets them to the playoffs still somehow. They're not as good, but they're still good. If you took, and obviously this is a question that you can't actually know the answer to because it didn't happen, but if you took Josh Allen off the Bills, you think they're winning their division?
No.
Their division's pretty bad, so maybe. But you think they're winning any playoff games? You think this team is competitive for a Super Bowl? No. Like, he elevates them to another level, especially now when they don't have that key marquee receiver or anything like that. They don't have Derrick Henry. They don't have Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. Like, it's a fine roster, but they don't have the star power. So it feels, and Josh Allen hasn't won, and Lamar Jackson's won twice already. So it feels like it made sense for Josh Allen to get it this year.
It was due. It was due for Josh.
Did you see the other thing that caught my eye at the NFL Honors last night? Bill Belichick was there with his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. And great name, by the way. And Snoop Dogg made fun of Bill Belichick and his girlfriend.
Oh, no. I didn't see that.
He said, I've been an NFL fan for a long time. Long enough to remember when the Chiefs were bad and when, what did he say? The Patriots were good? I can't remember. And then he goes, long enough to remember before Bill Belichick's girlfriend was born. And I feel like for Bill Belichick, like you almost, like he's happy, right?
Yeah.
And she seems happy with him for all we know.
They seem happy, as odd as it may be.
So as much as anytime people like to make fun of him and Leonardo DiCaprio and these guys that have a reputation of like having younger girlfriends, but like, I feel like when you're Bill Belichick, that's almost like a badge of honor. You're like, yeah, I'm doing okay, aren't I? You know?
I mean, sure. It's definitely a little, in my opinion, a little creepy because it's like, robbing the cradle, But like I said, I don't think there's any sign to me showing that she seems to be unhappy in this relationship.
It's not like she's coerced or anything.
Yeah, no. So, I mean,
she's like,
they're two adults and they're in a consenting relationship. Yeah. So I don't think there's any reason to be super upset about it.
It's not like he's just some Joe Schmo. It's Bill Belichick. Think about the talk she can have with him about football. Like, I would have a relationship with Bill Belichick if I could.
Okay.
We're asking, with the Super Bowl right around the corner, before we get to, on Monday, talking about the best Super Bowl commercials this year, what are the best Super Bowl commercials of all time? Allie, a few people have gotten in so far. We did hear from Melanie, who says the Chrysler commercial titled Halftime in America, featuring Clint Eastwood, it made me cry. Do you remember that one?
I do remember that one. It really was a tearjerker.
I don't want a Super Bowl commercial to make me cry.
Some of them, they've been leaning into that lately,
Yeah,
I
they
feel
have.
like, where it's more emotional. So, yeah, that's a good one.
Those always see the ones that obviously there's a lot of commercials that just want to make everybody smile and make you remember Doritos or whatever. But then there's the ones that try to be more thoughtful or like, you know, make you feel like proud to be an American or whatever. And those are the ones that get a lot of controversy afterwards too, like a lot of conversation around them.
Yeah, for sure.
Ryan says, not a favorite. Okay. But the one that people still know is the Budweiser Was Up commercial. That was all the way back in 1999, by the way.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people know the commercial versus like Michael Scott in The Office going, "What's up?"
Right.
or whatever. Like that kept that commercial going and brought it back into everybody's forefront. But I remember my parents liking that one.
Yeah, I think everybody likes that
I remember
one.
specifically one where they're like, maybe they're at like a Japanese restaurant or something because the guys are going, "Wasabi."
Yeah.
But
Yep, I remember that one too.
Kind of really before my time. What is yours?
So mine is actually one that Chad also texted in. And I was first of all, mad that Chad texted it in, not because I'm like, why'd you pick it? But I was like, I wanted to be able to say this. But I'm glad that Chad and I have the same opinion on this one because I feel like it is such a good commercial. And that was the Volkswagen Darth Vader commercial where the kid's dressed up as Darth Vader and he's trying to use the Force and he's like trying it on everything, the dog, the washing machine, he's trying it on his mom and she like slides him a sandwich and he's just like so upset. And then his dad comes home driving in a Volkswagen, of course. And when his dad gets out of the car, he's like expecting his son to give him a hug. And the son just pushes past him. He's like, "Get away from me." And then he goes up to the car and he's like using his hands so intensely. He's trying to do it. And then the dad just like clicks with the key fob and it like makes the lights go. And the kid just is like, "Oh, what?" He thinks he finally was able to use the Force. So to me, that is one of my favorites and just one of the best Super Bowl commercials ever. So
Yeah.
Chad and I both picked that one.
That's weird because I don't even remember that one. Sue texted in one that I was I'm going to be honest with you.
This is good.
I had to look up Super Bowl commercials because I was like, I don't know.
You don't remember
I don't have
them.
a favorite.
Okay.
But I do remember this one that Sue texted in. This is one of the ones, once I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Oh, yes.
The Betty White Snickers commercial where, so I just rewatched it, of course, and it's a bunch of guys playing a backyard football game and it's a bunch of dudes. And then it's Betty White. A guy literally tackles her, slams her to the ground. And then Betty White, like, because it's a guy, and she's like, "Here, eat this Snickers," his girlfriend. And Betty White eats the Snickers, and then she turns back into the guy, and she's like, "I'm ready to go," or whatever. And then the commercial ends, "You're not you and you're hungry." And it ends, people forget this, with Abe Vigoda getting tackled as the quarterback.
Yep.
Going, "That hurts," which is hilarious. And of course, neither of them are any longer with us, unfortunately.
Yes.
But that was a good one.
Yep.
Annie texted in the Doritos Puppy Monkey Baby.
Oh, I don't know if I remember that one.
That was only a couple of years ago. I remember that being popular. And then the other ones that I like, if I'm being honest, I do not remember this as a Super Bowl commercial, but when I was looking through a list of the best ones of all time, I thought it was funny. And that is, there's a Bud Light commercial from like 15 years ago where it's a bunch of people skydiving. And so they're all jumping out. And then it comes to the last guy in line and he's like, "I don't think I can do it." And so the instructor goes, "Not even for this case of Bud Light." And he throws it out the hatch.
Yeah.
And then you see the pilot come running out and he jumps out after the Bud Light. I'm like, that is very effective. That is hilarious. And the guys kind of look at each other like, "Well, who's supposed to fly this now?"
Oh,
So
I don't think I saw that one, but that is funny.
that is a good one. So we've been talking about our favorite Super Bowl commercials. There's some good ones, I guess,
Yeah.
in the past. But Allie, now the time has come for us to imagine that we were in charge of coming up with a Super Bowl commercial. Imagine that RadioU had the budget to put a commercial during the Super Bowl for RadioU. Try to get the word out there. Allie, tell me how you would do it. What commercial do you have in mind?
So I was thinking you know how in the, or I guess I shouldn't give this away, but I was thinking it'd be really funny if we were to like, the commercial starts with like, you could hear the break starting on the radio, like here on RadioU Mornings with Hudson and Allie. But then as it comes into the studio, it's not us talking. Like it sounds like us, but it's not actually us. And it's actually people from different RadioU bands that are us.
Okay.
So I was thinking who would look like us or close to us.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be funny if it'd be like, for you, Jeremy from Devil Wears
Is that
Prada.
my RadioU band doppelganger?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think pretty close.
Yeah.
And then for me, it'd be like Lacey Sturm.
Okay. Yeah.
And
you don't
then-
have many choices, do you?
not as many for the girls. And then for Nene, it would be Lecrae.
Okay. Yep.
So it would just be a commercial that's like a break or like a food fight or something. But instead of us being the people doing the break, it would be RadioU artists.
That's one way to do it.
Yep.
I have an entirely different approach altogether.
Okay, I'm excited to hear this.
Because the Super Bowl, you've got to do something memorable, something that gets people's attention. You got a lot to compete with.
Yes.
Not just all the other commercials with celebrities and whatever, but also like the other things they've got going on. They could be running, have their back turned and they're, getting another round of wings or whatever. So you've got to be out there.
Yeah.
And so how do I get my attention of everybody? Talking dog. And not only is the talking dog, first of all, it's my voice because people love it. But not only is it a talking dog, the talking dog is doing a bunch of amazing things. The talking dog sees a criminal coming out of Walgreens carrying a bag of whatever he's stealing with a ski mask over his face, and the talking dog stops him. He's like, take that, crime. And then the talking dog is doing like complex math equations on a chalkboard and I don't know, a bunch of other amazing stunts. And then the commercial ends with, you think I'm a superhero? I'm not. And then he lifts up his floppy ear. It's like a golden retriever. He's got floppy ear. He's like, and you see he's got an AirPod. I'm just listening to RadioU. And he takes it out and it ends with like a RadioU song.
Oh, I love that.
And with RadioU, you can do all of these amazing things.
You can be a superhero dog.
Talking dog, yes. I think that would really get the word out.
That's a great idea.
Without resorting to, because like I've criticized earlier this week, I think now it's just like, which celebrity can we get?
Yeah.
How many celebrities? We don't need. Would you rather watch any celebrity or a talking dog in a 30-second commercial?
I don't know. I think I'd really love to see Jeremy play you in a commercial.
You want to get back at your ex? I've got just the thing. The Memphis Zoo has got a promotion they call Dating or Dumping with Valentine's Day coming up.
Okay.
You can either, if you still love someone, you can send them a cute red panda video.
Aww.
Red pandas are so hot right now.
They're so adorable.
Yeah, they are cute. Or if you want to take the dumping route, you can send them a video of one of their elephants pooping.
Literally taking a dump.
There's no better way to put it than that. For just the price of $10, a $10 donation to the Memphis Zoo, they will send the video of your choice to the person you have in mind. So you can either say, I love you and hope you enjoy this cute red panda video, or goodbye, or so long, or I'm glad that we aren't together anymore, whatever. And that runs, you have to make that order through February 12th.
Okay, so a pretty quick decision here, but I love that it comes with a digital card, so it can explain things.
Yes.
Like, I think the card that they posted on their social media was like, give a turd because you're a turd, or something like that. Like, oh man.
Name a turd after a turd. Listen, I cannot emphasize this enough. If somebody broke up with you a while ago and you pay the Memphis Zoo $10 to send them a video of an elephant pooping, there's no bigger confirmation to them that they made the right choice in breaking up with you. There could be nothing more to say to them, yes, I'm glad I'm not with you anymore, than you sending them an elephant pooping video.
Yeah, it's like so mature of you. Such a great decision right there. Yeah, I agree. We've talked about this with several of these things coming around for Valentine's Day and whatnot, of like how to get back at your ex. And it's just like, not too long ago we were talking about the one where it's like someone still had control of the thermostat with their phone at their boyfriend's apartment and was going to set it to like 90 degrees or whatever. It's just like that just confirms that for whatever reason, you're still letting them occupy way too much brain space. So stop.
Now, if you want to do this as a way to break up with somebody, immature, but I'll allow it. I'll allow it because maybe they deserve it. But after you guys are done and over with, and you're still thinking about them, and you go, let me spend $10. This is so active, too. Some of the other ones were like, well, you donate $25, and then it's like a worm gets eaten by a sloth bear that that they named after your ex. And that's just like, that could just be for you. That could just be for you to have a little closure, to feel like they're getting what they deserve. But this is sending it to them.
Right. This is going to them.
They're going to know that you did this, that you had to think about this, and that you thought about them so much that you want to send them this. And yet again, it's just going to confirm in their mind what they probably already know anyways, which is it's good that you're not together anymore.
Yeah. 100%.
I advise against this. But sending the red panda video, nice way to show you care. That
is a good decision, especially if you are in a relationship with someone that loves red pandas. Like, there's no better gift.
Yeah. It sounds like it would, well, I don't want to, it sounds like it would work on Allie.
I do love red pandas.
Share your Super Bowl predictions with us at 8772-RADIO-U. And Allie, it's time for you to make a call. Make the call. Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs. What do you think happens?
Man, I think I kind of gave a little teaser yesterday that I'm not happy with my pick. And the reason I'm not happy with my pick is because I didn't want any of these teams in the Super Bowl. And I shared that previously. But so I unfortunately think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl.
You've been won over.
Not that I've been won over. I just think it's inevitable.
I think I agree. I don't know what the argument for the Eagles is at this point. Like it's basically Saquon Barkley is so good that he cancels out Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and that he'll just be able to run rampant over the Chiefs, right? Sure. I haven't heard anybody say anything other than that.
Right, which I mean, I could see a scenario where some type of historic performance like that could happen and the Eagles could win, but I do feel like it's a lot less likely that something like that would happen versus seeing another Chiefs Super Bowl.
It feels like, to me, that it takes Saquon Barkley, the running back for the Eagles, having now Offensive Player of the Year too, having like a historic game, having an especially amazing game, which he's capable of. However, the Chiefs, like Steve Spagnuolo is their defensive coordinator, he's been around the block a few times. He obviously dialed up some great plays to help Kansas City defeat the Bills in the last round. He knows what he's doing. He's got 2 weeks to prepare, and so he's not like they're going to force the Eagles to have to turn away from running the ball and put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands. And he's a good quarterback, but he's not as good as Patrick Mahomes. So they're going to force him to have to like kind of be the hero of the game. And I feel like that could lead to more turnovers. And as good as the Eagles defense is, like, I just don't, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in the Super Bowl, they're going to figure out ways to score.
I'm hoping it's a close game. I'm hoping it's an interesting game for sure. And I would love if the Chiefs don't get, a three-peat. But like I said, I feel like it's inevitable that they'll end up doing that, which might just be, me giving them the curse there that they won't. But I do feel like that's just how they've been. But also, I don't know if you feel the same way that I do in this, but I feel like that Bills-Chiefs game might have been what the Super Bowl should have been.
Sure.
Obviously, it can't be because they're both from the AFC. But but in just the terms of it being such a close game that went down to the wire.
Yeah. It's you say that this, and everybody thinks, because we generally going into the Super Bowl, they're supposedly the two best teams in the league. You think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
We haven't had a lot of blowouts lately. Doesn't that maybe think maybe we're due? And especially if like the Chiefs can force the Eagles to turn away from the run game because they can't get it going, and then they start putting it in Jalen Hurts' hands, and he's got to pass a lot, and maybe that leads to a few turnovers, and all of a sudden the Chiefs are out at the front of a big lead. And if you're the kind of person that's conspiratorial, that thinks it's all rigged and scripted and whatever, would the Chiefs winning in a blowout would accomplish two things for the NFL. If they win in a blowout, then it's like, well, it wasn't the officials because it was a blowout, and they still get to have the Chiefs win, which apparently they want, according to those who think it's scripted. So it's a double whammy, and you kind of get to try to shut up people that, even though I think if the NFL was scripting it, they know you're never going to shut up the people that think it's a conspiracy because they always find a new way to explain why it is.
Yeah, and they're just going to be skeptics at every turn. But I am
The Eagles could win and they'd still think it's a conspiracy.
Exactly. Yeah. I am hoping that it is a close game and hoping that the Eagles can keep it close for sure. But yeah, I just personally feel like it's the Chiefs to win.
Yeah, 3 in a row. Did you know that every time there's been a rematch of the Super Bowl where of teams where the coaches were the same, the team that won it the first time won the second as well? So nobody in the Eagles and Nick Sirianni's position where they were in the Super Bowl against the same team a few years ago and came back, they've never gotten revenge. That doesn't sound very positive for the Eagles, does it?
Or it might be.
Welcome to the Weekend Watch List, our weekend tradition here on Radio U, where we let you know which movies are new that you could be watching in theaters and at home this weekend. An interesting weekend for movies, to say the least. We'll start things off with Love Hurts, starring Ke Huy Quan. Marvin is a Milwaukee realtor who receives a crimson envelope from Rose, a former partner in crime who he left for dead. He now finds himself thrust back into a world of ruthless hitmen and double crosses that turn his open houses into deadly war zones. Hunted by his brother, a volatile crime lord, Marvin must confront the choices that haunt him and the history he never truly buried. Love Hurts is now in theaters. Has a 23% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
The trailer I've seen a few times, it does not look good. Sarah Michelle Fetters of MovieFreak.com says it's bad, but bad in a way only a project with so much glorious possibility could be. And that only makes things worse. In other words, there was a lot of potential here that was wasted.
A lot of hope.
Yeah, so that's probably not the best choice this weekend, it sounds like. But Allie, this could be for you. Hard Eyes, a new horror movie. A masked maniac with glowing red eyes returns every Valentine's Day to terrorize unsuspecting couples. What else do you need to know? It's in theaters this weekend. It has an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I already have my tickets for this.
Oh, wow. When are you going?
Sunday.
All right. So Monday on the Box Office Breakdown, Allie will review Hard Eyes. I'll tell you what Eric Piepenberg of the New York Times says, though.
Okay.
A horror rom-com can be delightful, but this film could put even Cupid in a bad mood.
Aww.
He is one of the few detractors of Hard Eyes.
What'd you say the percent was?
85%.
All right, I'll take it. It's from the creators of Scream. Obviously not Wes Craven. Wes Craven is no longer with us. But anytime you mention Scream, I'm in.
Now, some folks, especially this weekend, maybe heading out to the theaters isn't in your wheelhouse, and instead you'd like to stay in for a nice movie. Mm-hmm. Maybe something like Kinda Pregnant, starring Amy Schumer on Netflix. How do we feel about Amy Schumer?
I feel like anytime I've watched some of her comedy, I'm not really that big of a fan.
Very hit or miss to me.
Yeah.
Trainwreck I liked. Kinda Pregnant. When Lainey's plan to settle down and start a family falls apart, she puts on a fake baby bump, tells a lie, and accidentally falls for her dream guy. Kinda Pregnant is now on Netflix. It has a 22% on Rotten Tomatoes. And Alan Almacar of The MacGuffin says, we are forced to bear witness to scene after scene of ridiculous comedy where we can see the punchlines coming from a mile away and whose plot is so generic we start to forget about it even while watching it. Not a fan.
Nope.
And he speaks, it seems, for many in the critic community. That Kinda Pregnant on Netflix, not a great watch.
I mean, just from the title alone, it seems like you might be signing up for a not great watch.
Now, there's also a couple series that premiered this week that people may be interested in. On Tubi, Believe it or not. Did you know they make original series on Tubi?
No, I did not know that.
Not only that, it stars Lauren Graham. Maybe you've heard of her from the Gilmore Girls.
Yes.
She stars in the Z-Suite, Generations Class, when the award-winning C-Suite at a Tellier ad agency is canceled and pushed out, and the Gen Z social media team is put in charge.
Okay.
That's started on Tubi. They've been promoting. I have the Tubi app on my phone. They keep alerting me about that. Like they think I want to watch it. I don't know. And then also, this sounds interesting. On Netflix is a series called Apple Cider Vinegar. 2 young women advocate for wellness remedies to cure deadly illnesses, unraveling their lives as they unknowingly and knowingly mislead the world.
Uh-oh.
So that is a couple series if you want to undertake that, or the movies. And Allie, we know what she'll be watching. It's Hard Eyes.
Yep.
What are you going to be watching this weekend? Let us know. 8772 Radio U. I have a few movies in mind that I'll have to try to get to. I don't know if I can get to all of them in the box office breakdown on Monday, but I've been busy.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.